Welcome to 5 Minute Friday, everybody, where we share our best tips and tricks to help you get just a little bit better every day. Eddie, I want to talk about one of my favorite things today.
What?
Systems.
I
love systems. One of my favorite topics.
I'm still trying to get rid of some of the systems that you built for ABSI.
And I think I figured out why some of those systems might not have worked.
Oh, I may have set you up for this. Why,
Whoa,
Tyler?
look at that.
Why?
Look at that. Don't overbuild your systems. I've learned this from time being a systems nerd. And I got a little bit of a slap in the face several weeks ago. Yet again, Tyler reading books up in here. Another one called Systemology. Great one. Go read that one if you haven't. I am guilty of making systems way too complex. I'm guilty of going into just the minutia of things, really diving into the detail and like making sure that everything is just so, and I define, I have developed a critical client flow for our business that, no kidding, if I printed it out, like it'd
be a lot.
It'd be a lot.
Okay.
It's wild.
This doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't. Because I'll nerd out. Like I'll get in the zone and I'll like hyper focus on it and I'll be like, oh, then we do this and then we do this and this and this and this. And it was like, I had like yes and no's. Like if the client says this, then we go do this. So I developed this critical client flow and I'm like looking at it and I'm like, man, this is awesome. It's got everything mapped out. And I'm like pretty freaking out. Like I'm pretty freaking proud of it, right? Pretty excited. A month later, like a month goes by after I build out this system, this master system. And I come back and I look at it and I'm like, I really need to refine this and this and this in it. And I go back and I look and I'm like, wait, where is that? Like, where is it? I had a hard time understanding the system that I built because it was so complex. And so this book, Systemology, smacked me in the face because it's like, you're overbuilding your systems. They're way too complex, man. You got to bring it back and make it so that if somebody walked in off the street and you handed it to them, that they have a shot of understanding what the core process is, right? So come to me and I hand you a 8-step process for how you flip burgers, do this, do this, do this, do this, or make a burger. That's that's so much easier than what I had tried to build out, which is just like, make sure that the temperature is just so, like just all of these different elements. You want 60 little shards of salt on each burger is like the level of detail that I would go to.
Is that a technical measurement?
I don't know if it's a shard or if it's a grain. Is it a grain of salt?
They do come in grains.
Grain of sand.
Grain of salt.
I just didn't want to sound stupid, but
shards.
I actually sounded stupid by trying not to sound stupid.
All right, so
this happens. I've been overbuilding my systems for years. And so this is a subtle reminder to those out there who do love systems, who are systemizing their systemizations, their businesses or things or stuff. Don't overdo it.
Why do you think you do that? Not because I'm trying to psychoanalyze you, but because a lot of people are going to listen to this episode and be like, man, I don't have time to build systems. Like, I don't build systems. I don't have time for that. So there are a lot of people in the industry that are on the I don't have time to systematize that train. Then there's the e-commerce crew.
Systemize everything.
If I do it more than 3 times, I will systematize it. And cool. All right. If I do it more than 3 times, then I'm going to build a system for it. I'm going to have a process for it. I'm going to have a thing that I do, a tool. Good thought. But I like common sense a whole lot. And I think that
felt like a little bit of a slap in the face for the record.
Well, I think that at times we seek control. Systems feel like they bring that control. And I've done a thing to control my environment. Right?
You are psychoanalyzing me right now.
Because of that.
People, he is doing that thing. For the record, he is.
Because of that.
Sure.
You build the thing in hopes that it will make you feel better about it, but you don't stop and ask the first question, which is it necessary?
Yeah.
And then if it is necessary, To what degree? Like how much?
Yeah.
How much? That's the overbuild. It's like systems are necessary more than we typically build them.
Mm-hmm.
I am guilty of never building them or of needing my hand forced before I build them or seeing a gaping hole or a big problem before I build them. I would have been well served to think about it before that point, before it's an emergency.
Yeah.
On the opposite side of that, though, is I will build this out so much so that everything's good that people start to fade out. They gray out when they're reading the SOPs. They fade out when they're trying to get through the process. They don't actually check every box because I want to check every box.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just obstinate about that kind of thing. Well, tell me you've ever tried to make everybody fill out timesheets.
Yeah.
I mean, just a simple thing that everybody is like, I hate doing that. No, I mean, who gets joy out of filling out a timesheet?
Right.
They're helpful and all, but you've got to have an enforceable system. If you overbuild it, it won't be enforceable. You have to have an understandable system.
People are confused by it.
Yeah.
People are confused by it. And that's the thing that I've tried to say is like, don't go over that like 8 steps. Like bring it back and it needs to be high level steps. Boom, 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 boom. Here you go. This is what you do. And then you can put in definition as needed. But I think a lot of times people get intimidated or say they don't have time to build systems. But if you simplify and just say, I'm just going to 8-step this thing. Like, how do I get through this every time? I'm going to just write out like, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, here's step 4, so on and so forth. I'm going to record just me doing it once. And then you have something that you can hand off to somebody else. The mistake that I made is that I wouldn't go, here's step 1, step 2, all the way up to step 8. I would go, here's step 1 through 128 of my 5-part plan to fix this, 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 and this. And then, by the way, here's a 45-minute video to go with it. Like, super confusing. And I think the way I was making them is not sustainable. And so this is just kind of like, hey, realization time. I have a habit of overbuilding my systems. You might have a habit of not building systems at all. So there's this nice little meeting ground in the middle here that I'm trying to get us at, which is if you don't have systems, you do need some systems in place, but don't overbuild them. Don't overbuild them. Keep them simple, keep them straight to the point, and try to make it approachable for everybody. You psychoanalyzed me, you turd.
I'm not sorry about it.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry.
I'm not at all.
Sorry at all. All right.
Well, not sorry, bone in my body.
On that, just sad note, go build something awesome, like a system.